And I suppose you can put the word division with that. And I'm going to give you the example problem. Then we're going to talk a little bit about it. How many 2/3 are in 3/4? There's something wrong?
No.
You can answer the question. Now, this will confuse you slightly, more so than ever. In other words, I'm asking this. If you have 3/4 of a circle, here's my 3/4 of a circle, I want to know how many 2/3 of a circle I can get out of a 3/4 of a circle. Which means I have to cut my circle into thirds. Let's pretend it was a whole circle. Let me cut it into thirds. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Okay. And if I asked you the question, Michael Bruel, how many 2/3 can I get out of 3/4? Well, here's 1/3 plus another third. Here's a 2/3. Right here is 1 2/3. Okay. I know for a fact I can get what? 1 whole 2/3 out. But how do I know how to say this? What is this piece here? Is that like a half of a 2/3? Or is it a half of a 3/4? Or is it? Anybody want to help me out on this? Ooh, I like this. Grace?
1/8.
You're guessing.
It looks like
Jacob?
1/5.
You're guessing. Okay. The point I'm getting at is you really. Oh, Peter's gonna have a guess. I don't know until I do the problem. The point I'm getting at is when you get to this stage of math, the drawing kind of falls apart. You can take a good guess and you know that you get 1 2/3 out of it, but I've got this little chunk left that I do. Now, here's today's life lesson, children. Anytime you're dealing with fractions and you don't understand what to do, put regular numbers in it and see if you can figure out what process you should do. In other words, if I asked you how many, let me change the question to say how many 2's are in 8? How many 2's can you take out of 8? You can give me that answer, can't you, Jacob? What is it?
4.
Now, the question you ask yourself is, what did you do to get 4?
2, but I don't know.
But you already knew the 2 and the 8. What do you do with 2 and 8 to get 4?
Oh, divided.
Divide. So that's the same thing that you'll do with fractions. You're going to divide those fractions, but you need to make sure you put them in the right place. Did I put the 2, what, is it 8 divided by 2 or 2 divided by 8? It's 8, which was the 3/4. It is 3/4 divided by 2/3. That's the actual math problem. Have we done divided by fractions?
Yeah.
You already know how to do that, so well, what's the problem? How do I divide by a fraction? Ryan?
You switch that top and bottom number in the same fraction.
On the second fraction, you switch the top and the bottom number and multiply. So this becomes 3/4 times 3/2. Okay, now it's an actual problem I can do. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. So how many 2/3 can I take out of 3/4? Well, if I change this back to a mixed number, it's 1 and 1/8. Somebody said that. Who said that? 1/8. Somebody said the 1/8 fraction. Grace, by guessing, ended up with that 1/8. But that really, you can take 1 and 1/8, 2/3 out of 3/4. But really, you can't really conceive of that sort of thing. Maybe you could if it was an easy number like this. How many 1/4 can you take out of 3/4? 5/8. You might actually be able to draw the circle and do this. So here you have, let me do my 8s. Here I have 5/8 of a circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, so I gotta get rid of some of these. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I get rid of this and all this, right? That's still 5. How many 1/4 can I take out of that? So if I take my circle and cut it into fourths again, here's 1/4, right? That's 1/4. Here is a second fourth, correct? This is 1 1/4. There's 2 1/4. Okay. Here would have been my third 1/4, but I can't get a whole 3 out of it. I can get this part of it. What part of this last quarter is this? Anybody? Jacob?
John.
Peter?
We have to make the problem first.
No, I think you can figure this one out.
1/5.
No, wait. Here, look it. Let me show you. Here is my last quarter. Of that quarter, though, I only have this piece of that quarter. What fraction of this is this piece I have of the whole quarter piece? Who said it? Yeah, I have, wait, let me redraw it. Here is the piece I'm talking about. That was my quarter. I have this part of it that's right here. What fraction is of this piece here? What fraction is that piece that's colored?
1/2.
1/2. So I can take 2 whole quarters out plus a half of another quarter. So my answer should be 2 and 1/2. Let's do the problem. How many 1/4 can I take out of 5/8? So I have 5/8 and I am dividing it by 1/4. Correct? How do I do that division problem, Christine?
You switch the 1/4 and then 1/4.
It's going to be 5/8 times 4/1, which is actually what? 28, right? 28 reduces to,
What am I supposed to do?
my, sure.
10/4.
10/4 reduces to
5.
5/2. 5/2 is what is a mixed number? That wasn't so bad, was it? Grace has a question? And again, no, I don't expect you to look at the pictures and try and figure it out because it's way too hard. This was probably one of the easiest examples I could have given you. Okay? And there's no way if we were dealing with 16ths or tenths or whatever that you'd ever be able to kind of come up with it probably without. You just need to do it like this, but let me caution you, you gotta make sure you know which one comes first, which one comes second. Okay? One last question, if I asked you how many 1/5 can you take out of, give me a fraction, Alex.
4/12.
Can I do 1/3? 2/3. How many 1/5 can you take out of 2/3? Go ahead, give me the answer. Do the actual problem out. It's the same thing as taking 2/3, dividing it by 1/5. That's what you're doing. How many 1/5 pieces? In my mind, I know I'm going to get at least 1, probably 2, maybe 3. I don't know how many I would get. But it is the problem 2/3 divided by 1/5. How many 1/5 can I take out of 2/3? Doing that division problem, Christine says.
3 1/3.
Yeah, I believe that's probably right. 3 1/3 would be the answer. Well, children, I'm afraid it's going